If you'd stuck with your original build, like that build would have slapped too.
Unarmed, sure. I just would have been really.
We're just
Dang it! I fell for it.
Not listening to each other and just
fell for
missing it. Welcome to New Game Plus. This is a retro gaming podcast where three guys spend 7 days playing one old game and then we talk about it. My name's Dustin.
My name is Kenny.
My name's Nolan.
And this is episode 494. We are 6 episodes away from our 10th anniversary. And we have a lot of stuff planned. We met together, should I say, this last week, earlier this week, to
board meeting.
Plan some things. Yeah, we had a board meeting.
Yeah.
And I think we accomplished a lot in those meetings.
I think it was very productive. I think our shareholders will be very pleased.
It was a board meeting.
Wow, he was bored.
All right. Question of the week. What game is either way too short or way too long?
I feel like I'm going to get hate for my answer.
Yeah,
No one
because you're going to say the
You'll
same
shame
thing I
always.
am.
I don't think I am. I
Okay.
definitely am not.
Okay.
Are you going too short or too long, Nolan?
Too short.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay. So we're all thinking the same thing.
No.
And then we can talk about it.
I don't think so. I mean, I know so. My submission is Resident Evil 4.
We're not all thinking the same thing.
Right.
Nolan.
No.
No way. I love that game. And I'm not upset with the length of the game. It takes about 10 to 12 hours, closer to 16 if you're doing like full completion. I looked it up. I don't know where 16 came from, but it's not super long. But I think it's a reasonable length. I don't think anybody's upset that it's that long or that short. I want more of it. Like, I just want to keep playing. So that's why I do playthroughs afterwards. Like, I beat it, and then I start another one and do, like, a harder challenge or something.
Why is the completionist time for Resident Evil 4, and we're talking about the remake, correct?
Yeah, I am.
Why is it 64 hours?
Because you have to beat it multiple times with different stipulations. Like, you can knock out a few of those trophies
Sure.
in one playthrough, but there are some that you have to do only pistol or only knife, and then there's some you have to only do, like, it's because you have to beat it multiple times.
So
Yeah.
64 hours and he wants it to be longer.
No,
Yes.
16, and he wants it to be longer.
I want it to be longer. I just really like the game and want more of it. That's all.
Yeah,
That's a
and I
selfish
think that's reasonable. But that being said, I don't know. I would assume that's a normal length of time, if not on the upper end compared to other Resident Evil games, right? Like, that's not an anomaly.
No, it's not unusually short or anything.
Resident Evil 3, 6 hours? Oh my goodness, that's short.
That's super short. I've never played Nemesis all the way through.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah,
Yeah, that is
Resident
weird. I feel
Evil
like
2, 9 hours? So, man, you're lucky that your game is that
it needs to
long.
be. It needs to be longer.
Kenny.
I'm going to sound like Nolan because he's dropped hate here before. Tears of the Kingdom. It's too long.
Not too short?
Too long / too big.
/2.
Yeah, / too much. Like, that is the main thing. I'm not y'all. I think Breath of the Wild was a good game. I have some reservations about the direction it took the franchise as a whole, so I understand that, but felt like they did the scope thing relatively well in terms of how much there was to do. I felt like they just kind of moved. Yeah, but that's not like, you don't have to do that.
If you're a completionist.
Well, sure, but if the metric here is only if you're a completionist, then I don't know. I'll literally never eternally beat a Civilization franchise because there's always one more turn or whatever. So, like, that's not the question. Yeah, it's they kind of took the limitations off of themselves, and it's a little too big and a little too long.
Tears of the Kingdom, 59 hours main story, 116 hours main plus extra. Completionist, 248 hours.
Dial it back,
Oh
y'all.
my lord.
Dial it back.
There's the
And
problem
here's the thing.
there.
Listen, I would still have a problem, but less so if it was 248 hours of expertly crafted experiences that you're going in. But no, it's just this massive map for you to go around and wander around for no reason.
Just
it's the same. I mean,
scope. They just like vomited scope, but for no reason.
Yeah. Yep.
I'll start negative, I guess, because that's where we are right now, and then I'll move over to something positive. 2 games that I think take too long. One, not interesting because I talk negatively about them often as much as I love the series. Any modern Assassin's Creed game, too long.
Really?
Some of the same reasons that, Kenny, you're referencing with Tears. They're big, way too many things to do for no reason. It's beautiful to look at, but after a while, you just want a story. Or, you just want the meat of the game.
You felt that way with Shadows, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, more so with the ones preceding it, but definitely pretty much any of these modern ones. It Takes Two. I don't think either of you ended up playing it.
No, I didn't play
But
that
it's that that couch co-op game.
I did, but I didn't finish
You
it.
and your wife. Right.
Oh, because it's
Exactly.
super
Yeah,
unnecessarily
It just
long.
it just keeps going and then keeps going and then
Yep.
keeps going.
They could have dialed that one back for sure.
I hate it when
For
they do
sure. On a positive note, I'll say the easy one that is in line with Nolan, and then I'll say the one that I have a question about. For me, any Metroidvania it's too short. It could be longer, but it's because I like it and love it so much. I just rolled credits for Silk Song in 20 hours. That's short, man. Now, there's still much game ahead of me, but I want it to be longer.
Yeah, you always want one more area, like unique
Or
area.
2 or 3 or
two.
4, yeah. And then here's my question, okay? And it's for a similar reason. I would like more of it. But my hesitation is maybe it's perfect as is. Should this game be longer? Portal.
I wondered if we were going to talk about this game. No, it should not.
It's just a perfect little boy.
Yeah, it's a very short game, but it's exactly the right size nugget. If you want a longer Portal experience, just go play Portal 2. It still has a lot of the same things, but you get a lot more scope. Part of what is just so perfect about Portal itself is classic, just the right size. Theoretically, you could sit down and play it in one sitting. It's perfection. There's a couple of games that fall into that category of like I wanted to say make them longer because they're short. Limbo, Tale of Two Brothers, that like there's some good ones that are like short, but I think they're short and juicy and shouldn't be touched.
I agree. I think Portal is the perfect length. I can't tell you how many times I have gotten the urge to play that game and played it in an afternoon. Like Kenny's saying, you just put it on and play it in one sitting. That's not unreasonable, and it's perfect. It's don't touch it.
Are we ever gonna get a new Portal, like on console Portal experience?
Maybe. I mean, that I don't know.
Because
what
I think both of those 2 games, Portal and Portal 2, are masterpieces. Perfection.
PC game.
Yeah.
Like those are PC games. Those are the best ones.
Just the best of the best.
Yeah.
When games are too short or too long, I know that upsets you and causes you to maybe even argue with other people, but don't bring your negativity to me or Will have a Fallout 2. Like in our retro game of the week, Fallout 2.
Overview.
It's been 79 years since the original Fallout, which makes it over 150 years since the nukes dropped and changed the world. You are the chosen one. You're a descendant of the original Vault Dweller, and the city that you and yours live in, Arroyo, is facing a severe drought. So you are tasked with going back to Vault 13 to retrieve the Garden of Eden creation kit. Of course, if it were only that easy. After your first mission, things don't go quite as planned, and the Enclave becomes the organization you have to reckon with to ultimately save the day in this week's classic with a capital class and a little bit of ick, I guess, technically.
Yeah.
post-apocalyptic, quite literally, or not, 1998 role-playing video game from Black Isle Studios.
Ooh.
On
started
PC.
strong there.
Yeah.
Nice.
We
There
fell
we go.
off a
Got it
little
all.
bit.
We fell off. You were going so strong. I was about to give you a standing
You
ovation.
used up all your MP on the first part.
We fall out.
Exactly. It started well, and then there was an apocalypse, and now we're dealing with the ramifications.
One of the things I love about these games, Nolan, you might have to help me here, although I think you've fallen out with your Fallout relationship and experience, which is crazy because you got me into it in the first place.
Yeah.
But Vault Dweller, Fallout.
Yeah.
The Chosen One, Fallout 2.
Yeah.
I believe The Lone Wanderer, Fallout 3. That sounds right? The Lone Wanderer?
Yeah.
And then Fallout New Vegas was next. That's your baby. Do you know?
I do.
You do?
I do.
Who is he?
The Courier.
The Courier is so good.
It's really good. Okay.
And then Fallout 4, which is not bad, Nolan.
No, it's not.
I don't.
It's great for what it is.
Get there, are you?
Fallout
4.
Fallout 4, you are the. Why do I feel like you're also the Vault Dweller in 4? Like they
Sole Survivor.
Really? That's.
Yeah, the player assumes control of a character, simply referred to as the Sole Survivor.
Okay.
Although he's definitely not the Sole Survivor, right?
I mean, there's plenty of other survivors. Yeah.
I think the best thing about Fallout is the lore. The world,
sure.
The different vaults. There's so many stories here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, yeah, not just 4 stories or 5 with 76 or however many other side games there are, but there's a story for every vault that you find, for every village, for every character. There is so much story.
Someone should realize that and make a TV show about it.
They should do that.
And then they should do like, I don't know, Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios or something. That would be sick.
It should be a part of that. And bring in Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, or even Terrifier. Why did I think this was Bethesda from the get-go? Totally isn't.
Interesting.
Black Isle Studios and Interplay. So
Wait. So 3 was first Bethesda?
Yeah, they acquired the IP. Well, they bought licensing to make Fallout 3 in 2004. Then they acquired the IP from a bankrupt Interplay in 2007, and now they just have it. So, I mean, there are things I want to talk about in this episode about what Bethesda kept or changed after they acquired it. But yeah, I don't know why. Black Isle also did the early Baldur's Gate games, which also kind of blew my mind.
That's crazy.
I don't know what's going on.
And they had one other really big title as well. Do you remember what it is?
I'll tell you.
Planescape Torment. Planescape Torment,
that's not
I think,
big.
was them.
What is that?
I mean, it was
big-ish.
It was big in its day.
Planetscape Torment. You're right. That was the next year.
Planet.
No T.
So we played Fallout back in 2015. I believe November of 2015.
Golly.
It was episode 10. So
That's
I would
wild.
assume that y'all don't really remember much of that experience.
I remember more from that episode than a lot of others, and I also remember that it was lining up around the time Fallout 4 came out. So I was playing Fallout 4 around that time.
I don't remember a lot of specifics, but I do remember the way that game made me feel. Which is
sad.
No, I mean kind of, but like
depressed. That's
when you know that a game is memorable, is when it like connects with you, when it makes you emote, and when you can recall all of that. And I remember punching rats, and I remember being super impressed but not at all surprised with how tryhard Dustin went that week. Speed running it and learning how to do it and beating the whole game in some ridiculously short amount of time, and me being like, oh, this nerd is a nerd, but in a good way.
That's, of course, after having played it multiple times.
Oh, sure.
So I referenced it in this episode and in previous episodes, but just to be clear, Nolan got me into the Fallout universe. I think Fallout 4 was coming out. I think so, maybe, or maybe it was before that. And you wanted me to play, or Fallout 4 was about to come out.
Yes.
You did want me to play New Vegas, I think, is what was happening.
Yeah.
And before that, this shouldn't surprise anyone that has listened to the episode, the podcast before. I'm a completionist. I want the full story. And so I was like, I got to start at the beginning. Fallout, the first game. Nolan said, you do not have to do that. They are not connected in that way. I said, but if they are, I want to make sure. So I started with Fallout, then played Fallout 2. They are hard games to get into. We'll talk about that more because they are very different from mini modern games, and they're very different from 3, New Vegas, and 4. Like, very drastically different.
Yes.
But I'm glad that I did, because once I fully got into 1, and then once I really got into 2, this is, 10, 15 years ago, I really enjoyed the experience, mainly the world and the lore, because the gameplay systems have a lot to be desired. Again, we'll talk about some of those things. I did want to point out that 1998, the year this game released, was a crazy year for gaming, maybe much like 2025 is shaping up to be. Here's some other heavy hitters that came out this year, and these are only some of them.
Okay.
Half-Life, Metal Gear Solid, Resident Evil 2, StarCraft, Banjo-Kazooie, and Ocarina of Time.
I think you can make a very solid argument for 98 being the best year in gaming of all time.
Did you hear those games? And those are only some of them. Yep. Seriously, there are other heavy hitters that I didn't even say.
I won't argue that, but 2025.
There's other big years too. And I love that one of those big years is in, now.
Metal Gear Solid and Ocarina of Time in the same, something was aligning in my life.
It's also when NFL Blitz came out. I mean, there's a lot of sports games that came out during that time. Like Tekken 3 came out. I know that's not sports, but even Grim Fandango. Panzer Dragoon Saga. That's one just we played on the podcast. But massive year for gaming. So I bet for many, Fallout 2, I don't know, went a little bit under the radar. We now have a bonus episode exclusive for those on Patreon.
Episode is not an over-exaggeration. It's a full episode.
And it's an episode that you get to be a part of.
Yeah, it's called Expansion Pack, and semi-regularly, you get to be a part of the conversation. And we're going to debate, and we're going to scream at each other.
We're going to talk about video games. Yeah, we're going to scream mostly, though. That's kind of the point of it.
Yeah, we like goats.
You roast us, we roast you. Find out more information at patreon.com/NGP podcast.
Gameplay.
I believe we said it, but it's worth pointing out, beyond just story, this is a true sequel to Fallout. Fallout came out, it was successful. They said, well, let's make more of that, and more of that as well, and that's this game. So many of the experiences of how Fallout feel, the original one, are also how Fallout 2 feels.
This is one of those eras where it was more common to see some of those rapid sequels come out where something really worked, and so they wanted to kind of live off that and continue to make money.
Today, this would be a big DLC. If a company was trying to do the same thing, the follow-up that we do today, that is, here's more of the same thing in a big, massive DLC you got to buy, is, hey, let's get more of this to our fans, but without changing the core thing too much. There's obviously some changes. We'll talk about a lot of those. But what they were wanting to get you was this brand new Fallout experience RPG, and they did.
Which is super interesting, because that is what the Fallout series went on to do with 3. There's what, Nolan? 6? I don't know. There might be less or more DLC packs, but some of them are huge stories, multiple hours.
Fallout 3 and New Vegas both have 3 to 6 major DLCs with full plot lines, and they're all sick. And that was the best era for DLCs in my opinion ever. But
yeah. So they instead just made a whole new game
a year later.
That being said, a
recent.
year later. In fact, I think it was 11 months later. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like full development, production, release in 11 months. But very little has changed in the sense of mechanics, what you're looking at, feel. If you played and are familiar with 1, you're going to be able to pick up 2 straight away. It is just more, period. I was going to say more and bigger. It's
true.
Bigger. Just a lot more. So you've got more places and you've got more of everything. But same thing. You're in one of the things that Fallout does is that these games often place you in different parts of the United States is typically what it is. So Fallout 2, where we are now, is California-ish area. It's the west area, right? Maybe it's not only California.
Yeah, it's like
Redding is a big part.
Kind of like deserty.
Yeah,
at times.
Was that also? I'm trying to remember where Fallout. That's where I was going. Where Fallout.
The first one,
place.
I don't remember that where we were in that one. It couldn't be super far from this. Well, I mean, it could be. I guess you could just travel.
We should be in the same place, aren't we?
You're traveling to get there.
That's true.
Right.
But, like, I don't think you've gone far geographically. You know, like, we came out of the vault, we did out of the vault hero things, and then we settled Arroyo, and now, you know, had a kid who had a kid, and we're the chosen one. So they should...
Southern California.
They should be geographically equivalent.
Fallout 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're over in that same direction in Fallout 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it does... the rest of the series does jump all around.
Goes to a few different locations, but so your looks and plays the same as Fallout. So you start with character creation,
huge,
where you can choose your a pre-made character, but that's your role. We're playing an RPG, so you need a role play.
Don't do
so
that.
You need to create. Don't choose a pre-made.
Yeah.
Yes.
Correct. Okay. I thought you were saying don't role play.
Right.
And I'm like, Nolan, you've robbed yourself of everything good in this world.
No, I mean, character creation is big for this genre, but it's especially a staple for Fallout. Like, it's crazy to revisit this and see how faithful Bethesda was with Fallout 3. You've got your special.
Crazy.
The special is a copy paste, which stands for stealth,
strength.
Nope. Wow.
Strength, perception. I'm going off memory, so don't wow me.
Endurance,
charisma, intelligence, agility, and luck.
He's not giving you any time to get it.
I know. Along with your skills, which is also brought over to Fallout 3, 3 of which you can be like proficient in, which is kind of more of a D&D trope.
A D&D RPG.
Yeah, it's very D&D, but like they made their own version of it, but did it really well. It feels tabletop-y, but it translates so well to a computer game. It was just a really smart implementation of this type of system.
Yeah, I mean, the list continues, though. You get your traits that have a boon and a bane, which also is brought over to Fallout 3, but that... and perks, that like 60-something perks. There's so much customization for a game this old, and that's such a like timeless design because it encourages more playthroughs, but you can actually like role play this game better than you can in a lot of other games that I feel like.
And that's for a few reasons. Partly because just the world and how much options they give you, but partly because they let you do so much customization and letting your character level up and choosing those skills and then using them. Whatever you take, you're going to find ways to utilize those skills if you want. Now, some of them are going to be much more important than others, but there's some of these old RPGs where it feels like there's a handful of things you got to take and then a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't matter, and your stats sort of matter a little bit, but ultimately it's more about like what items you pick up. I feel like everything you do matters here. Has a huge implication on what your character does, what they succeed at, what they fail at.
Big time.
And the order of you take the order of which skills you take and all of that is going to have a major impact on your gameplay. Enough so that I would almost, and I'm with you guys, I'm a purist.
Ooh.
I think everyone should do a custom character here. But enough so that I would almost recommend on a first playthrough that someone not, and instead take the basic melee character. It's just going to make you learning the game and the early parts of the game and combat be a little easier.
I get that, but I think I still lean more on the side of like make a mistake, like make a character that you enjoy and like stumble your way through it. It might be frustrating at times, but like it's also going to be fun.
You are going to have the most fun
gamers.
doing your own custom character. So do that if you
Kenny, want. I think that's at the fault of the developers. I think the biggest problem that this game has is its first hour or two. Because
Kenny knows that.
I don't want to hear it,
or
Kenny.
the first
I gave you instructions.
10 minutes. It's longer than that. We're not going to dwell here long. Hey, accidental reference. But the tutorial here is hot garbage. It's not a tutorial. It's a skill check as to whether or not you've either played the original Fallout or taken the time to read instructions or something else. It's just, it doesn't tell you anything.
It do kind of seem like they were like, they played Fallout 1.
Yeah.
You might be onto something with that because
really,
it does have that feel to it. It's just kind of like...
They don't teach you anything. They just are like, get yourself through this tutorial. And I don't hate that, but I also do hate that because I suffered, and I know you can go and look it up, and that information's readily available and whatever else. I still wish in a tutorial you taught things.
There's two things. One, how much of the manual did you read?
As much as I felt like.
So none. And then two, although this is a unique game, I think it's the era where there's other games similar to it in that there's systems that carry over from one game to the other. If you're playing a PC game in 1998, you kind of, if nothing else, know that F1 is going to bring up like a menu or something that you can...
To some degree. And it doesn't surprise you or get super difficult once you figure out the nuance of selecting your skills with your number keys and whatever else. How to do things. But I did a lot of old PC gaming, enough that some of those old interactions are internalized into my fingers and my brain and my way of thinking. And this one still felt foreign and is something that I had to like go look up how to do some of those things efficiently. You can kind of stumble your way into them, but you're going to do a lot better if you've figured it out.
Yeah. So what kind of characters did y'all create and roll with this week?
Okay. I was tempted. Okay. I wanted to do an unarmed character.
Ooh.
But I didn't because I felt like that might be bad. I mean, I can do that in Fallout 3 in New Vegas and have a blast because I know the game, but this is an older game. So I abandoned that, but I did do an explosives build.
Oh.
And it's a blast.
Okay.
Okay, Nolan.
Don't do that.
It's really good. So I was a sneaky explosives dude. Of course I did sneak because it's strong, but
Kenny wants to one up you real quick.
No,
he
it's
can,
okay.
but I just give me props for doing explosives.
Well, he was gonna one up your joke.
No, it's a good build, and I'm glad you did. If you'd stuck with your original build, like that build would have slapped too.
Unarmed, sure. I just would have been really.
We're just
dang it! I fell for it.
Not listening to each other and just missing it. But why? It was the biggest setup, and I told you it was about to happen.
I didn't think
it
would be
listen.
that soon.
Yes, that's the only reason he stopped himself from interrupting you. So you did go like you were gonna sneak around and plant bombs on everybody.
Yeah, early game's rough. Just because you need to find explosives to use, but once you get things going, I mean, it makes some of the game pretty easy, actually.
Yeah. I mean, my early game was also rough, not just because of the things that Kenny has said, which I'd sympathize with, but also because I wanted to build a a gun woman, and you do not get a gun for
Dude.
way too long in this game, and the first one you get sucks.
Yep.
So like it seriously took me 3 hours to get a working handgun this week.
And early on, there's just not a lot of ammunition available. Like, they really
right.
want you to sort of
You're broke.
grow into those, and that's no fun. Like, if you're
that's kind of what they're doing. You're in the wasteland and you don't have stuff. And I agree, it doesn't feel good. I wish they could have done some other things, but I really think they're like, role play, figure it out. You're living out in a very rough environment and land. I think they're doing that intentionally. I don't think it's the best design decision, but I don't think it's accidental.
Agreed. I wish they'd dialed that back a little bit. I think they could have found a middle ground of allowing you some ways to kind of use those alternate character motifs earlier, not just like later into the game once things have gotten a little more expansive. But it is what it is, and I get why they did it. I'm boring. I took my own advice this week and just continued to play Narg, mostly because I knew it was going to be a little bit more handholdy, and I was frustrated with already how much of a hard time I was having getting through the beginning of the game. However, once you do learn those basics, and especially if you're going with a really basic archetype, run in, hit stuff, fight, it's not too bad. It gets going pretty quickly.
Although I didn't get to use guns for a while, and I had high charisma because I also wanted to eventually have party members, which is a big thing in the whole Fallout series.
Yeah.
But I was able to use early on my charisma, because it's not just about how many people that you can bring onto your side and use in active combat. It is in a variety of conversations that you have with random people, with shop owners, with NPCs. It is so I was going for like a high charisma seductress gun
Black
assassin
Widow
type girl.
Yep.
Yeah, Black Widow, exactly. That's what I was going for. And you can do that.
You can do that, which is the crazy part. Like, it actually
There are
works.
instances, like, this is above PG-13, but there are instances that you can, if you're a woman with high enough charisma, even if I think they're in some Fallout games. I don't know if it was in this one. I didn't see it. There is a Black Widow perk, right? Like, that you can actually choose.
Yeah, it's like a 30% buff to like damage against men. Like, it's actually that.
Yeah. Which is actually super strong in those games, because
I always play
fighting
Fallout 3 and New Vegas.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's really
I think this was the first one that I've ever done a female for, because I've always kind of just role played like a version of myself, and so far it was a lot of fun, like, because charisma works. I was getting my way in any place that I was going.
Charisma works because this is largely a text. I mean, say largely, it's a text-based game. Like, so much so that your heads-up display has a box in the bottom that is giving you like lines, like old school RPG games and dungeon crawl games of like, you search the box, you find this, like, you got hit. So yeah, talking to characters and going through those interfaces, high charisma is definitely OP in these older ones, and I had forgotten about that and didn't really go that route. So
let's talk through the combat system a little bit, because we referred to it, but if people didn't play the original Fallout, it's good to like picture what we're doing. You've got a couple options here. The main system that's in play is an action point system. So your movement, as well as every action that you take, the skills that are on your hotbar, or an attack of the enemy of whatever kind, each use a certain number of action points. And you have to manage those so that your character does all of the things they can do within their pool of action points, and then your turn ends, enemies all act, and then it goes back to you to use your pool of action points again. Within that, in combat, you've got 2 weapons to choose from. You can select 2 weapon slots. You start unarmed, you're punching things and kicking things, but you can equip a different weapon into each of those options. And then you got 2 modes of attacking as well, which is very interesting, and I didn't learn that as early.
Me either. I forgot.
Yeah, the target attack is a super, super cool concept where you can put a little bit more action points onto an attack that you're using, and instead of just swinging randomly, you can attack a specific like targeted part of your opponent's body with different chances to hit. And if you're successful, depending on the type of hit and which body part you hit, you can get some extra bonuses or not. So a little bit even more risk reward, but a little more option to kind of lean into even more choices to be made in combat and how to do it most effectively.
Also
and
crazy.
That's proto VATS, right?
It's VATS. It's early VATS.
Yeah.
Like that would become
it's crazy.
The staple combat for the Bethesda Fallout games. It's the best system. And when that screen popped up on my game this week, I was like, they literally kept everything. They just modernized it. Like it's VATS.
Yeah. I remember the last time I played, what would have been, maybe it was Fallout 3 or maybe it was even New Vegas, I don't remember, but you get your sniping so high or shot so high, and then you select someone's head every time, and I think in those games there's this animation of just head explosion, right? Like,
yeah, it's like a cutscene they'll give you if you get a crit on it. It's perfect. It's the
absolutely crazy. Yeah, so it is, man, archaic. It is convoluted. It's different. It's archaic. But it's a system that you can learn, and once you do, it's a lot more simplistic than it feels and looks like at first.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah. I will say it took me a while to get back into that mode. In fact, I had to look up like a lot of assistance this week. Because at certain points of the game, it's just hard to kind of tell what the area contains. Like the graphics are, they're realistic to a degree, and so things get lost. And so it just took me a while. And also, there's such a like strategy component to these games that I've always felt, mostly because of the isometric view. Yeah.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like there's no camera, like you can't rotate the camera, right? So you're only being able to see, the angle that they're wanting to show you, which hides things, makes it hard to see enemies at times. You can hold shift, like in some of these early search and click games, and it will highlight items. So
helpful.
That's and enemies. So that's helpful. But
I think there's also some settings you can tweak to turn on item and enemy highlighting happening automatically, which is I would recommend doing. That will make you a little less frustrated with that. But even then, there's going to be some oddities because you're walking, behind these walls and like having to find stuff that sort of is in view and sort of that isn't. It feels its age in a few of those ways on look and interaction.
Speaking of, though, y'all turned on auto run, right? Like
First
you're
thing
running
I did
the entire time. Okay, good.
Yeah. First thing I did was check options. When I saw that there was an auto run option, I immediately clicked that one without even thinking. Thought about some of the others, but that one was a no-brainer.
Yeah. So you start in your little village, which is different. In Fallout, you're starting in a vault and you're being sent out. In this one, you're starting on the surface. And as Kenny said, you find this out at the end of the tutorial section. You find out that your village was founded by the vault dweller from Fallout that was kicked out of his vault at the end. Super cool. And a lot of time has passed. But your tribe is out there in the arids, and you've got to go and get the Gex. So you're also sent out. So you leave Arroyo, and you probably first come across Klamath. It's likely your first stop on your journey. You have 13 days. There's a calendar that's ticking down. You're probably not going to hit it. Seriously, even if you do everything, like I think it'd be very difficult to hit that. Which I also think in Fallout you had a kind of timer, a ticking timer.
I couldn't remember.
Well.
You do, I believe.
I couldn't remember.
Probably because it's like you're working against the
Water
clock
chip.
with the chip. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So you stop across Klamath, and it's a small community of trappers. You can do some odd jobs. Any town you show up in, there's a lot of side quests, things that you can do, or you can go around and stealthily steal from everybody in their rooms. You can also just kill everybody. Like, there's so much autonomy. You can do whatever you want. Your next main area is the Den. It's a larger town that is full of drug and slave trafficking. But that's kind of what you do. You've got this overworld grid map that shows you traveling. You can get in random encounters and have random events happen as you walk, but it's all in the fog of war, so you can't see where you're going. You just talk to people and they'll say go east or go south, and you start heading out that way, and hopefully you eventually come across a new town or a new settlement or a new area. But that's what you're doing. Your main goal at first is to go to the original vault, right? Isn't it Vault 13?
I believe it is, yeah.
Dweller's Vault, to get the water chip there. That's your main goal, but it is across the map, so you're going to be coming across all these other areas, and the idea is you're stopping by, helping or harming, I mean, you can choose, these areas, these settlements, these people as you go through, getting stronger, getting better gear, armor, so that when you get to Vault 13, you're able to get what you need and make it back to save your people.
And we said that it is more or less Fallout 1 plus more, and those are the main changes. One of the things that I noticed and looked up and confirmed, which but like I noticed it in my playing, was that this game has a lot more items. Like you said, that you can like steal from people. There's just so many more things to find, and it is reminiscent of Fallout 3, the more modern ones that I have context for, because you just get junk in those games. Like you can pick up everything, and they started that here, and it's fun to accidentally find uses for some of those items, whether it's in combat or just out in the world. So that was one difference. And then I didn't confirm if it was in the first one, but the karma and reputation system.
I think there might be karma in the first one, I believe, but the reputation system is much larger here.
Okay. Yeah.
They've expanded that a ton. In fact, they may have added it all together. I'm not sure, but it is one of the places that you're going to feel a huge difference in this game. In my mind, there's 3 things that are wildly different: reputation addition, scope, just like size, how much you have to do, and the fact that you actually get an end game. I don't know. We didn't probably all get there. It's a relatively long game, actually. This one, much longer than the first one. But at the end of the first one, you beat it, you're done. You've got some options here to continue playing after the game is over if you want to, which is a cool change. And then, what was the other thing I was going to say?
Were those not 3?
No, that was only 2. I have a third one, and I'm going to bring it up shortly when I remember what it is, because it's an interesting one.
While you think what it is, reputation is basically, as you go through and do some of the side quests in the game, those towns that you're coming across will look at you differently, which is another robust thing in a early game. Like there are a lot of decisions they made in these games that wowed me for the time.
Yeah.
Oh, you can make some drastic decisions in the game, and people will then judge you for it.
Yeah. We said, this is lumped in with what y'all are saying, but I think how I see it playing out most, one of the ways is that, especially with this playthrough, because like I said, I wanted high charisma and wanted to actually roll with companions. Yeah. In my past experiences, I've kind of gone solo, and kind of just taking care of myself. Especially with Fallout, you only have 4 companions in the first game, and their AI, whatever, is
awful.
Not
garbage.
Great. Yeah, it's very bad. In this one, you go from 4 to 14 permanent companions. You can't have them all in one playthrough. You can't have charisma that high. But I think you can have 4 or 5, maybe max, that are rolling with you at all times.
And the fact that there's also some negative companions, some companions that if you take them into your party are going to be a hindrance, and then you have to figure out a way to get rid of them.
That's great.
It's such a fun implementation of that system. It's hilarious. What a great choice.
And the fact alone that there's 14 permanent companions, you can only roll with like 4 or 5 max at any given time, and that's if you've really invested in charisma and things like that.
Yeah.
Replayability. I mean, you're going to want to go through this game and try out different companions and different routes.
Try different builds with different companions.
Builds.
Yep. So like you're both gunning people down, or you're both melee people, or you mix and match. It's crazy.
And thankfully they weren't idiots. Dog meat, if that's your thing.
Oh yeah,
still available.
More of a canine guy,
right? Yeah,
myself.
You see him again.
But I also think, Nolan, this is the first game with the Enclave, which is huge in the rest of the Fallout series.
Yeah, like
it's the meddled up army guys, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're. I mean, it's like the Brotherhood of Steel, but their politics are different, and yeah, it's cool because like in the later games, like in 3, it's almost like they paint the Brotherhood as this like the heroes against the Enclave. And then in later games, they kind of explore, like, actually the Brotherhood of Steel's also got their own ideological issues. Like, the politics of Fallout and the lore, like you were saying earlier, is so fascinating and really fun to, like, get into. And these older ones, man, like, there's something about them that is just so good.
Third thing that's different between the first one and the second one.
I'm ready.
They change a little bit how they interact with you. That is, and I'm sure you guys noticed it, and people who've played more of this game have noticed it and complained about it some. They sure do break the fourth wall a lot. Lots of Easter eggs,
references.
Lots of talking to you, lots of pop culture references. That's not something you're going to see nearly as much of in the first Fallout. They're much more purists about kind of like the story and the world and keeping it kind of intact. The sense of humor itself, I think, is still similar. But it's one of those things that some people have complained about on this one, where that they went really heavy-handed on some of those interactions.
Aged.
Other than the story, I think one of the areas that Fallout, these first two games in particular, do really well are the environments that they create. And compared to today's standards, they're not entirely robust. But compared to that day's standards and the amount of detail and grunge, like you're not looking at beautiful things, you're looking at destroyed things.
Grainy.
You're looking at, but
brown.
The environments that they create with the ambient noises and musical themes, especially in this one, you kind of really notice it because you go from village to a very small town to a slightly larger town. You eventually end up in some actually fairly robust cities that people are living in, but to see all of those, they each have their own character, all their own vibes. I said lore already, but I'm talking about musical themes, the visuals, what you're looking at, the environments. I just think they're so well done here.
Yeah.
They're iconic.
I totally agree, and I've always thought that with Fallout doing post-apocalyptic, I think it's easy to make a world and environment that might feel a bit, I don't know if derivative is the right word, but just kind of like bland. But there's something about the Fallout world that is brimming with charm and its own thing, and I think a lot of it for me is the 1950s inspired billboards and fonts and like some of those things that are just thrown into this more futuristic post-apocalyptic area. And so that juxtaposition of those two things, like one being all happy, like Vault Boy, like he's like happy, giving thumbs up, and the world's ending. Like that's the humor, that's the tone, and the environments in these old ones are so good. They're older. They are older, but they're very, very good.
I think that Fallout 2 introduces voice acting, not for every character, but for like some key NPCs that you come across. I think there's 2 in your starting village, and then there's many more after that. And I think they're really good. I mean, they're at times over the top and whatever, but they're like oozing with character, and with the visuals that you get with the character that's actually like mouthing the words, I think it's super charming. I think it's really good.
Yeah, the talking head things are really well done. Like it almost looks like animatronic in a way.
Sure.
Yeah. But I think that's kind of cool.
But I will say on the flip side of that, you referenced it, and I think you talked about the tiny window at the bottom where you get text that's, it says box. You saw a table, you saw but when you're talking to people, there's a much larger text box that comes up. You're reading so much in this game. I don't think that ages as well, where everything is a dialogue box and you've got
text.
6 dialogue options, and that opens up 3 more, and then that opens up 2, and then you click go back so that you can try a new one. I think that doesn't age well. I think it's charming for then, but I think that is hard. We're asking people to read a novel and playing this book.
And no, it's very text heavy.
And let's be realistic. this game, as much as we said it's serviceable in how it looks and it works, a lot of the reason is because this is a beloved game and it's gotten some support over the years to make it a little more playable on modern systems. Older PC games are janky sometimes with that, and this one does have some of that jank that's still
this is janky.
Snuck through. I've got a couple of nuggets of things that I'm curious if you guys realize they did, but even the graphics themselves, you're going to be able to play this game at a higher resolution than 720 by 480 or whatever the original resolution is, which would be painful. You
think painful
I don't know.
or not better?
Right, because I don't look, when you go to high resolution, you can't see a thing. It's so
on
far
an
away.
Old monitor, you don't think it would work better?
I think it's much. Oh, you play in 480p on a modern monitor, and it's going to be this big. It's going to be a little nugget.
He did a small square. Small square and used nugget for the third time in these sentences.
Yeah, I really do like the word nugget. It works great for tiny little things. So let's talk about some of the janky things they did, both like gameplay and just like aging. One, there's just some persistent bugs. There's a lot of them. Not all of them have been squashed. A lot of them have in this version of the game, but stuff may not work quite like you expect it to. I don't know if you guys realize this, but the random encounter rate, at least originally, and I think actually still to this day, the logic on it was originally tied to your CPU resourcing. So as people were playing this on better and better computers, the random encounter rate went way through the roof, enough so that either to this day or at least for a number of years in between, there were guides that would specifically be like, you have to take the outdoorsman skill, because if you don't, you're going to just be drowned at enemies. It became like a whole strategic thing that you had to account for. Janky. The inventory system is kind of old and bad. And apparently, this one got fixed a long time ago, but apparently, Nolan, the original version of this game gave you 10 save slots and no more. You couldn't save one game more than 10 times. I know generally you're like, I'm doing a playthrough and I don't care, but in a game like this, I want to explore. I want to try stuff. I want to go like look at something, and I may do a little bit of like save branching and almost, give myself a little like story history as an option, and that feels really, really, really limiting. There's a bunch more, but this game comes with some jank. A lot of it's been addressed, but not all of it has.
I don't save branch in these games necessarily, but I do save scum. Brothers, I will hit save scum. I will try to steal something, get caught, get murdered, quick load, and I'll try it again until it works.
Says something crazy to me. Oh, that's interesting. F7. Like, come on.
Kill him and then get your anger out.
It's part of the charm of old PC games that you've got that extra power. Don't even feel bad about it.
No, look, it was easy to download and boot up this week, but I still had some jank in trying to play it. There were times where I don't think it has windowed mode, or at least not one that works. So anytime I tabbed out to look at my guide or like scroll on my guide, and it would even leave my dock at the bottom. So I had to Control-Shift-Escape my computer to find it and then maximize the window again.
Yeah. I had a couple of crashes, even playing it today on the latest patching and through modern systems and whatever else. There's just a lot. It's gonna have some of that old jank that's still around.
You know that it is a series, that it has expanded, that it is maybe still ongoing, although it's been a few years since the last major release. This series began in 1997 with Fallout, and we had Fallout 76 in 2018. I think largely disliked Fallout 76. It had some single-player experiences, but it was a kind of a multiplayer experience.
It's an online experience. I think people were upset that it was that and not a new mainline, and it's been a long time.
It would be considered mainline. I know you have struggled with mainline nowadays, but it would be considered mainline.
It would be considered mainline. That's why people are upset, is what I'm saying.
Got you.
They wanted 5. They wanted maybe another New Vegas, or not New Vegas, but something like it. But I will say the show going on makes me think that they'll make another.
Season 1 worked really well for people. Huge. If they're able to pull off season 2, we're going to see some more Fallout games in the very near future.
We are.
For sure we are.
Nolan, they're doing New Vegas in season 2.
Yes, dude. The trailer
I'm so
looks
excited
crazy.
for you.
It looks faithful. I love that cast, so there's no problem
It's got
there.
Uncle Billy Baby. I don't know
Uncle
his name, but he's
Baby
from-
Billy.
Yeah. So that comes out in December, I think. Begins to come out
Yeah,
in
it's
December.
soon.
So like right
I'm
around the
gonna
corner.
binge that mug.
If you want a copy for your PC, okay? So we're talking about old
You
school.
don't
here.
need that.
Right, you don't, but there's some collectors out there. $19 loose, $201 complete in box, and only $403 new.
Okay.
And how much money to just download it off of Steam?
$10.
There you go.
But you'll also find it on sale at many different times. Steam and GOG.
GOG has it as
$10
well.
is your normal price there.
Final thoughts.
At the end of each and every one of our episodes, we determine whether or not the game gets our vote for New Game Plus status. That's our general thumbs up or thumbs down. Does require 2/3 of the vote to swing one way or the other. Kenny, what did you think about Fallout 2?
Yeah, so it's impossible not to give a title like this in GP. There's certainly some cruft that comes with the age of the game and with learning it and picking it up and getting back into it. But I think those friction points are worth overcoming. So I would say that for anyone that has some experience with old Golden Age era PC titles, or anyone who's willing to just get past some of that hump, realize that it's there, and that it's, going to be challenging on a few fronts. If you do, you're going to find a game that is well loved for a reason. I think arguably even better than the original Fallout. I love the size and the scope, especially here. I feel like character RPG-ness of it is even richer here than in the first one. Yeah, it's a great game. Certainly imperfect, has some rough corners, worth getting over. Not surprised to me that the series took off and that today you can play a whole boatload of them and that we're watching the show on Big Boy TV. And this game has a lot to do with why that's the case. So go check it out in GP.
I struggled this week to know if I was going to give it NGP or not. And I know that might seem strange or odd, especially coming from me, but all of the things that we've talked about related to its age and the struggle with the first couple of hours of the game are real. And you need to know that going in, because I think there's going to be a lot of people that bounce off of this and bounce off hard. And like if you play for an hour or two not knowing the systems at all and kind of coming in not willing to learn and all of those things, you're going to be like, what are you guys talking about? This is garbage. Like you might even say that. And I would agree with you, with all of those parameters. But if you are willing to go in and push and learn, there is a treasure trove of delight to be had here. I don't want to steal this from Nolan because I know he's talked about it and he's the bigger Fallout fan of the rest of the series, but it is so remarkable in playing some of these early games again now that I played through 3, New Vegas, and 4, to see how faithful Bethesda was with taking this game to the next era. And my goodness, when we come to that, how they were able to really bring it into a new era where we a totally new gameplay mechanics, which was needed, but keeping the faithfulness of the world and the tone and the culture and the story. I don't know if I've seen anyone do better, in translating it like that. But with Fallout 2, I think there are a lot of hills to climb, but if you climb them, you're going to have so much fun, and there's so much here. So while I struggled this week to know if I was going to give it New Game Plus status or not because of those difficulties, I think ultimately it's worth facing that challenge. There's so much good here. There's so much RPG. Honestly, out of all the RPGs that we played on the podcast, like this is one of the ones at the top of you can really play a role.
Oh,
like more so,
it's like, it's the RPG-est RPG.
Yeah,
that I can
Mass
think
Effect is an RPG, but you're not playing who you want to play. You're playing, Commander Shepard, which is fine. Great. Love it. But this is an RPG where you can create a character in a world and play that character, and it's so fun.
Even other classic RPGs, sometimes you're kind of you play like an old Baldur's Gate. I think that was one of the games that came out around the same time. That's popular. A lot of the characters are predefined archetypes, and that's fine. That has a place in RPGs. But
Sure.
This one, like your character and how much you can just infuse yourself into it and then go do anything you want. You're totally right. I'll shut up because it's your turn.
Fallout 2, I give my vote for New Game Plus status. That's 2 of us. Nolan, what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, the episode really is just like appreciation for Bethesda episode because of what you said. I'm blown away that they just kept everything the same but made it first person and brought it to modern gamers in such a graceful way. So when I play 2, I feel like I'm playing the same essence of game. It feels like the same thing, just a little older. And yes, it has the early game issues, but the way that I play games, I like a steep hill to climb. I like early grinds. I like getting my character build up and running, and then when it's running, it feels even better. So like this game just worked for me this week. I do think that you need to know what you're getting into, like Dustin said, and just know that like some of the systems up front are going to be confusing. The combat's going to take you a while to get used to, but the fact that you can be a unarmed criminal, kill everybody, steal everything, and it works, and you can play the game like that, is a testament to the game that they were able to pull off. Like we all had a different experience, and the answer is yes. So, of course, it gets NGP. You should play it. It is better than the first one. I also wanted to say that.
Which means that Fallout 2 is New Game Plus certified. But what did you think? On our YouTube poll, 35% said yes, it's worth playing today. 5% said no, go play something else. And 60% have never played it before. That's higher than I would have thought.
Not surprising to me.
Yeah. Maybe a lot of Fallout fans started when you did, Nolan, and where you did.
Of course they
3
did.
New Vegas.
Yeah, big yes.
This is a retro game. This is a retro game.
Sold.
We had some of you write in your thoughts on the retro game of the week. Here are all of your thoughts. Conan said 1 is less than 2, which is less than 3, which is math, but it is also...
Yeah, that's just math.
It's true in math. It's also true in the Fallout series.
Fallout. Shane said, do you remember, Nolan, that I preferred 3 to New Vegas?
I didn't, but that's fine. It makes sense. 3 is amazing.
Yeah. Shane said, definitely a bit of a hard sell when I got Silksong to play. Got through the tutorial area and did a few quests and such until I got overwhelmed by some geckos. The isometric perspective feels hard to see the field, and especially in buildings. Was wishing I could rotate the camera. Could maybe see getting into it at a different time, but the slow pace and subdued music doesn't really pull me forward much and made me want to just call it a week when I died. No NGP from me.
It's
Definitely
not
sounds like a skill issue.
It's not every week that Silksong is the competition, in all fairness.
Oh,
I'm tired of hearing about it.
The rest of the... Nolan?
You can't get away from it. Just embrace it. Like,
the rest of the year, I'm going to struggle to break away from the games that I'm playing, because with Hades 2 and with F that's coming out, and
I gotta brush up on my Hades 2 for you so I can help you with builds.
Kenny,
I'm there.
By the way, I now own the game. Someone on this podcast bought it for me for my birthday. So I haven't downloaded it yet because I'm waiting till release.
Good.
Because it's not real yet.
Garlisle said, I have a respect for Fallout 2. Should I just stop there?
Let him. What's the opposite of cooking? Let him clean up the dirty dishes.
Bake? I have a respect for Fallout 2 but I can't say I've ever enjoyed it. The slow pace and awkward interface don't really click with me. I'd work through it if I ever got enthused about the world or my character, but it just doesn't happen before I get bored with it. Not clicking with the setting isn't specific to Fallout 2, though. This franchise is just one I'm incompatible with.
Shoot. You know,
Maybe
I guess we
Carlisle
all
needs
have
more like
that.
happiness, you know?
We all have one of those series, I think, right? That are popular, widely loved, and you just kind of never
Yeah.
got into it.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for your thoughts on the Retro Game of the Week. You can do that. Listen to me, guys. You can do that each and every week by playing along with us and sending your thoughts to ngppodcast@gmail.com or hop into our commentary channel. We'd love to feature your thoughts as a part of our episode next week. But for now, we are going to set aside Fallout 2, but we are not going to randomly select from our Retro Master list this week because it is time for a Director's Episode!
Hey.
That's right. But this time, something different. We are going to be welcoming Brojim back to the podcast. Brojim has supported us on Patreon since 2019, and the majority of that time, Brojim has been at the director level.
Very generous.
Oh, I cannot even begin to express how grateful we are for you and others like you who have supported us on Patreon. But Brojim, we wanted to honor your patronage with another episode. We can't wait to have Brojim back on the show to talk all about the game that he selected, which is a 1997 kart racer for Nintendo 64. How about that, Nolan?
Kart Racer. It's one
Do you know what those
game.
are? So instead of racing cars, like a real racing car, you're in karts.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah,
doubt
go
Nolan's
around
ever
on a
played
track.
any of these.
No, I don't think he's a fan of that or of the
Or
console.
of the 64, yeah, no.
No, I don't like any of those things.
Or of the company Rare.
Oh, okay. Went in a
wait,
different
wait.
direction.
He's starting to perk up a little bit.
Hold on now.
We may or may not have just personally spent some time with this gang. Find a copy, play along with us this next week as we play Diddy Kong Racing.
He got out of jail.
Okay.
Wrong Diddy.
That's got to be the last time you talk about that or we'll be censored.
I'm pretty pumped about this. I haven't played this game since probably when it came out. I owned
Who is exclusively going to play as Diddy this week? Me? Because why would you play as any other character?
I mean, there's a
Because-
lot of adorable characters in this universe.
Because Dixie?
Yeah. Diddy might be best, but there is competition.
Let's say Diddy Kong. Should we
Take
say
that out
Diddy
of
Kong?
context, somebody. Clip that out of context. And post
Clip
it all
that out
over.
of contest for Kenny. He's a big fan. Say you're a big fan. Find a copy of Diddy Kong Racing played along with us and Brojim for the next 7 days.
Join Discord. For real, you can put commentary there. We're not lying to you. If you go to discord.gg/NGP podcast.
You can also head on over to patreon.com to lend your support even more directly for your favorite retro gaming podcast. You'll be joining folks like our newest patrons, JC and Thibs, who became a producer level supporter this week. So thank you for your support. Of course, to our director level supporters, Brojim, Sasser, Tins, and Siegfried. We appreciate y'all. Enough that we're throwing another episode at you next week and can't wait to do it. And to our many producer level supporters as well, including Alex, Marlene, Antonin, Ben, Champagne, Vinaigrette, Craig, Daggety, Flompus, Garlisle, Hallex, Harold, Hey Brother, J. Robert, Jake, Jordan, Justin, Caldaka, Clint, Lipidius, Lantris, Levi, Maximum, Megatroid, Miss Muso, Not Enough Dog, Brad, Max, Sajan, Scotty, Shane, Shauna, Snake Maddox, indeed, Spinny the Jet, Super Hypered, Swaggy, Taco Fish, Psycho, Mantis, Thomas, Tim of the T, Unbedavable, Zachary, and Zion. And I only tripped over my tongue once or twice. Appreciate each and every one of you.
Give it a second try. Let's do it again.
Just do it from the top.
He popped alt in the overview, or in the an overview,
in
and
the
he's been
overview,
declining.
but the alt was waning at the end of the his
I
overview section.
definitely have some skills on cooldown of some variety or another.
Nice. All right. You can follow us on social media. That's Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. Links are in the show notes. Listen directly on any podcast provider of your choice. Make sure you subscribe so that you are the first to get new NGP episodes. And while you're at it, leave a kind rating and review. Our episode artwork was created by our friend Dave. Our video episode was edited by our friend Dylan. Our audio episode was edited by our friend Dan Willett. Join us next week as we play Diddy Kong Racing. Until then, I'm still the chosen one.
It's not Diddy's Kong Racing?
I'm the courier.
And this has been New Game Plus.